It's time to look after Daddy. I'd talk and do something and wait 30 days to get a response from Meghan Harry. Didn't get a response, I'd try it again.
Thomas Markle has never been one to stay silent, but his latest revelations about Meghan Markle have left the world in awe. In a shocking news interview, he breaks his silence on her Netflix series, her childhood claims, and the one secret Meghan might not want the world to hear. From accusations of staged emotions to rewriting her past, Thomas is pulling back the curtain on what he calls Meghan's carefully crafted image. But is this just a father's heartbreak speaking, or is there more to the story than we've been told? Stay with us as we uncover the explosive truth behind Thomas Markle's revelations. The father that won't back down. Once a devoted father who proudly supported his daughter's rise to fame, Thomas Markle now finds himself at the center of a media storm that refuses to die down. His criticisms of Meghan are nothing new, but this time, his words cut deeper than ever. You see, nearly 5 years have passed since Meghan's fairy tale wedding to Prince Harry.
I haven't seen Meghan and Harry in 5 years.
A ceremony Thomas infamously missed due to health complications. Yet, rather than letting time heal old wounds, the feud between father and daughter has only grown more hostile. One of his biggest grievances is Meghan's rejection of the Markle name, which he sees as a personal betrayal. "My mother would be rolling in her grave," he lamented, accusing Meghan of erasing her past to fit a narrative that serves her ambitions. To Thomas, the shift from Meghan Markle to Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, is more than just a title. It's a deliberate act of distancing herself from the family that raised her. He believes this rebranding is part of a larger illusion, designed to craft a persona that doesn't reflect the truth of her upbringing. But that is nothing compared to his next revelation. So stay tuned to find out. While many fans were trying to understand the reasons for Thomas's disapproval of his daughter's change of name, he went ahead to drop another bombshell. And according to him, Meghan's entire Netflix persona is a pre-planned, rehearsed performance. It's a heavy allegation, but is it true? Thomas did not stop there. He called Meghan out for portraying false images of her life, like claiming she eats on a tight budget or that she grew up on cheap TV dinners. In his mind, these stories are designed to paint a rags-to-riches picture. He insists it's the opposite. She had a comfortable upbringing, dined out regularly at fancy restaurants, and lived in a well-kept home in Los Angeles. His core complaint is that Meghan has never been authentic, and that everything she shows on camera is meticulously orchestrated. Yet this battle goes beyond arguments about fast food and fancy dinners. Thomas Markle claims he has watched from afar as Meghan rises in Hollywood circles, forging relationships with celebrities, entrepreneurs, and high-profile figures. He's convinced she's deliberately erasing her real roots in a bid to secure a brand more aligned with royalty than reality. When he declared, "It's time to tell everything," it wasn't just a frustrated father venting. It felt like a warning that he was ready to expose hidden truths about Meghan's life. So now the big question is this: was her pursuit of Prince Harry as innocent as she claims? Did she truly not know about the royal family, as she once insisted? Thomas scoffs at these notions, stating she was well aware of Harry's background from day one. His words paint the picture of a father who feels deeply betrayed, not just by Meghan's choices, but by what he sees as a complete reinvention of her identity. Thomas Markle's criticism of Meghan's Netflix show has sparked a fresh wave of controversy that extends well beyond father-daughter drama. In the show, Meghan features jam-making sessions, whimsical cooking tutorials, and personal anecdotes that are supposed to reveal her authentic side. But according to Thomas, nothing about the show is genuine. He singled out specific episodes where Meghan discusses her childhood, claiming the Markle name left her feeling isolated and misunderstood. This is a punch to the gut for Thomas, who insists Meghan never had a problem with her last name until Prince Harry entered the picture. He quipped that his late mother, Meghan's grandmother, would be outraged to see Meghan distancing herself from the family legacy. Media channels on both sides of the pond have dived into these claims, seeking proof of whether Meghan's stories are accurate. Some who knew Meghan during her upbringing say she was always quick-witted and driven, never lacking in financial or emotional support. Others defend the Duchess, suggesting she's offering a perspective shaped by her own experiences. But the Netflix show is more than just nostalgic flashbacks and cooking segments. It's a business. Meghan's multi-million-dollar deal with the streaming giant means that viewership and controversy go hand in hand. Thomas's relentless critiques may be fueling the show's popularity as viewers tune in to see if her father's accusations are true. Netflix, after all, thrives on attention, whether positive or negative. If Thomas Markle believes Meghan is faking it, the question is, do audiences see the facade too, or are they captivated by her storytelling? Adding fire to the situation, Meghan's half-brother, Thomas Markle Jr., also joined the backlash. He's been quoted calling her recollections pure fiction. He commented on certain nostalgic scenes, especially those implying she struggled to find a balanced meal at home. With each family member who speaks out, it feels like Meghan's carefully crafted Netflix persona is under siege from people who knew her best growing up. The irony is that Meghan's cooking approach in the show is under intense scrutiny, not just for personal reasons, but for its practicality. She's displayed elaborate fruit platters, fancy edible flowers, and a spaghetti method that has caused many cooks to cringe. Who cooks spaghetti by dumping it raw into a pan with vegetables and water? Thomas wondered aloud. He claims that rather than showing her audience realistic, budget-friendly meals, Meghan is pushing an out-of-touch fantasy. And once again, the reaction from the public is divided. Some see Thomas Markle's criticism as sour grapes and an estranged dad stirring the pot. Others suspect he has a valid point, that Meghan's glossy on-camera persona might not reflect the real woman behind the scenes. One prominent critic even said that her culinary skills were terrible and advised that she went back to acting. But while the critics were talking, supporters praised her positivity and said the show is about fun, not strict culinary rules. Netflix, for its part, has announced a second season of With Love, Meghan, which means the Markle meltdown is far from over. As much as Thomas complains, his own words add an undeniable surge in the show's traction. People want to see if Meghan addresses or ignores her father's jabs in upcoming episodes. One can only imagine how many eyes will be glued to the screen, waiting for any subtle references or subliminal responses to Thomas's fury. And this is where it gets interesting. So stay tuned. The father-daughter relationship. One aspect that particularly bothers Thomas is Meghan's portrayal of their father-daughter relationship. Meghan said in an interview that she felt she'd lost her dad after the wedding fiasco in 2018. He's outraged by this narrative. According to him, it was Meghan who severed ties, ignoring his calls and messages. He contends that he fell ill and was left in the dark during her wedding ceremony, then demonized by tabloids as if he'd chosen to skip it. That heartbreak, fueled by confusion and betrayal, turned to anger over time. Now, he's keen on exposing what he calls Meghan's big lie. Critics from Meghan's side argue that Thomas has repeatedly sold her out, whether by staging paparazzi photos before the wedding or giving paid interviews that degrade her in the tabloids. They claim Meghan made a healthy choice by setting boundaries. Yet Thomas's perspective is that it was she who used the media first, weaving a sob story about her father to gain public sympathy. The swirling accusations leave fans in a bind. Either Meghan is a star, carefully controlling her brand, or a misunderstood duchess whose estranged relatives are targeting her to gain attention and money. Thomas's allegations of inauthenticity raised the stakes, intensifying curiosity around everything Meghan says or does from now on. Another interesting thing you should know is that when Meghan discusses her early years, she often highlights humble elements, working hard, skipping luxuries, and sometimes eating basic meals. "We occasionally ate TV dinners. Which family doesn't?" Thomas Markle retorts, insisting that any portrayal of relentless hardship is blatantly untrue. He points to a well-furnished home with 2 incomes, ample access to good food, and frequent outings to reputable Hollywood restaurants. By his account, Meghan grew up quite comfortably, Her father was a successful Hollywood lighting director. In some Netflix episodes, Meghan references feeling out of place at school, grappling with identity issues as a biracial child. Thomas doesn't deny the complexities of race in their family, but he claims the show exaggerates these struggles for dramatic effect. He's heard her talk about lonely nights, microwaving cheap dinners, rolling his eyes at the memory of them eating at legendary spots like Musso and Frank. Moreover, the matter of latchkey kid status has sparked fierce debate. Meghan once suggested her father was often absent, leaving her to take care of herself. But Thomas says he worked 2 jobs to afford the best for Meghan, ensuring her fridge was always well stocked and that she was never truly left alone. Indeed, he reminds everyone that he even paid for her private education and helped her get acting gigs by introducing her to the right people on set. So, how does one reconcile these opposing versions of reality? Some speculate that Meghan's narrative might be influenced by the demands of modern storytelling, emphasizing adversity to make her journey seem more inspiring. Others believe Thomas is simply offended by the suggestion he wasn't a caring father. Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between. Meghan's experiences of feeling out of place could be genuine, while Thomas's financial support could also be genuine. The clash arises when each tries to rewrite the other's role in that story, adding fuel to the fire. Meghan's half-siblings accuse her of ignoring their plea for help. They also accuse her of selective amnesia, especially about a time when Thomas Jr. says he used to drive her to school. They recall a tightly knit family dynamic that only changed once Meghan left for college and immersed herself in the world of entertainment. They're convinced she's burying key aspects of her upbringing to fit a curated narrative that resonates with her fans. In one particularly biting statement, Thomas recalled their last meal together. He said Meghan and Doria cooked, and she even posted a picture of both their hands. It felt warm. Then suddenly the curtain fell. I never heard from her again. In that moment, the heartbreak is palpable. If Thomas is telling the truth, Meghan effectively shut him out without explanation. If Meghan is telling the truth, Thomas betrayed her trust. Each side is convinced of its own righteousness. From a viewer's standpoint, Meghan's story seems motivational, especially when she discusses forging her own path. But for Thomas, those motivational angles omit the supportive backdrop he says he provided. It's a battle of conflicting recollections, each side unwilling to budge. Meanwhile, the father-daughter relationship at the heart of the storm remains broken.
From Meghan Markle's father, he's released a personal letter she wrote him after marrying Prince Harry, which says her heart has been broken into.
Its resolution looking increasingly unlikely. If you thought the conflict ended with spaghetti and jam, think again, because what we are about to reveal will shock you. The waffle fiasco catapulted Thomas Markle's frustration to a higher level. Meghan posted an Instagram story showing her making green waffles for St. Patrick's Day, topped with fruit to create smiley faces for her children, Archie and Lilibet. Seemingly harmless, right? Yet internet sleuths immediately noticed a mismatch. The waffle maker shown had a 4-section divider, but the final waffles didn't reflect that shape. Some accused Meghan of staging the clip with store-bought waffles. An avalanche of online criticism followed, with posts labeling her a liar for something as trivial as a waffle. Why lie about something so small? One outraged user wrote. Others asked whether this was further proof that Meghan has a habit of embellishing details about her personal life. Thomas Markle seized on the moment, feeling vindicated. If Meghan could bend the truth about a simple breakfast, what else might she be misrepresenting? This isn't just about waffles. It ties back to a gift the late Queen Elizabeth gave young Archie, a waffle maker. Harry once revealed that his grandmother had inquired what Archie wanted for Christmas, and Meghan proposed a waffle maker. Now, seeing Meghan's new post, critics wonder if she's even using that original gift, or if this entire cameo was just one more orchestrated social media moment. For Thomas, it's precisely these small details that paint Meghan as inauthentic. He sees the waffle fiasco as yet another instance where she's contriving a picture-perfect life for Instagram. At this point, Meghan's supporters argue that the online criticism is excessively petty. They maintain that sometimes the final image of food doesn't match the initial cooking process. Maybe she used 2 different waffle makers or multiple takes. They add that focusing on a waffle shape is indicative of how deeply some people search for faults in Meghan. Indeed, many see Thomas Markle's commentary as a father piling on instead of granting his daughter grace. The timing is notable. It came just as With Love, Meghan faced poor critical reception. The show was labeled gormless lifestyle filler by one newspaper and an exercise in narcissism by another. Yet the controversy only fueled more talk about Season 2, which Netflix quickly renewed. Meghan told her Instagram followers she was excited to share the fun they created in the next season, apparently unbothered by critics. Thomas Markle, however, suggests that all these criticisms, from questionable cooking methods to alleged storyline fabrications, are part of a larger pattern. In his mind, Meghan is repeatedly failing to be genuine, and the public is finally catching on. Meanwhile, Meghan's approach to these new controversies has been to carry on, ignoring most public sniping. She's quietly focusing on brand expansions, social media strategies, and philanthropic activities. Harry, for his part, hasn't weighed in on the waffle scandal, though he once famously praised Meghan for making beautiful organic mixes in the waffle iron the Queen gifted Archie. Now that statement itself is under scrutiny. The waffle fiasco, silly as it might appear on the surface, encapsulated a deeper question. Is the entire Markle family drama about more than father-daughter disagreements? For Thomas, each new incident is a chance to highlight what he calls Meghan's pattern of deception. For Meghan, ignoring the noise might be her chosen path, but as each controversy piles on, the silence can feel deafening to a public ravenous for answers. Regardless, the backlash didn't end there. There is more to it. Stay active. The broader family backlash. Thomas Markle isn't the only relative who's furious. Meghan's half-sister, Samantha Markle, has been a harsh critic for years, claiming Meghan used her father's love and resources only to discard him once she attained fame. She even added that Meghan will only realize what she has done when her father goes. So the question remains this: how does Meghan cope with this onslaught from her own family? Some psychologists suggest she's experiencing complex emotions: anger, hurt, possibly even guilt. Being reminded of estrangements and broken ties can't be easy, especially when it's public. The rift has also generated cynicism in the press. Every time Meghan releases a personal anecdote, tabloids race to interview her father or siblings, effectively fueling the cycle of blame and shame. These dynamics spill into the royal dimension too. While Meghan is no longer a full-time working royal, her marriage to Prince Harry keeps her under global scrutiny. Thomas Markle's criticisms hurt not just her personal brand, but also reflect negatively on the Sussex name. He views Meghan as a social climber who used her father until she no longer needed him. These supporters emphasize how he funded her education, encouraged her acting pursuits, and made sure she never lacked for anything. They share his outrage at seeing Meghan publicly rewrite her past. Others say Thomas should give his daughter a chance to express her side of the story, arguing that he's humiliating himself by continuously ranting to the media, thus pushing Meghan further away. In the midst of this tug-of-war stands Meghan's mother, Doria Ragland, who rarely comments publicly about the drama. Yet people speculate about her stance. Doria was part of Meghan's Netflix show, even featuring in some supportive capacity. She's been an assistant in defending Meghan's well-being and privacy, never engaging in public spats. So for Thomas Sr., that may be another form of betrayal. He's left out while Doria is invited in. The family backlash extends beyond cooking shows or childhood claims. It speaks to fundamental issues of trust, betrayal, and complicated family loyalties. The Markles accuse Meghan of rewriting her story to appeal to fans, while Meghan's circle views Thomas and her siblings as opportunists who exploit her name. Everyone's entrenched, with no sign of peace talks on the horizon. Many wonder why Thomas Markle continues speaking out if it pushes Meghan further away. By now, he must realize that each interview ignites new headlines and prompts more condemnation from Meghan's fans. So why does he persist? The man himself says, "It's about setting the record straight." ensuring the world knows he tried to be a good father, and that Meghan's portrayal of her upbringing is, in his view, inaccurate. Thomas also resents how the media has labeled him incompetent or money-hungry. He insisted that he only did paid interviews because he felt cornered after the paparazzi scandal when he was caught staging photos for a fee. In his mind, Meghan cast him as an unreliable figure, and he had to defend himself. He said before that if Meghan simply reached out in a genuine private way, he would withdraw from the spotlight. But that call never comes, at least not the one he hopes for. Critics suspect that Thomas, approaching his later years, feels the clock ticking and wants reconciliation on his terms. Others suggest he's heavily influenced by certain media outlets offering him lucrative deals to speak. Regardless, each new word from Thomas intensifies the narrative. By now, he's recognized as the father who breaks silence regularly, revealing shocking secrets about Meghan. He's fulfilling a market demand. Tabloids pay attention because readers are fascinated. There's also the question of paternal pride. Like we have stated, Thomas says he's hurt that Meghan no longer wants the Markle name, claiming it sullies the memory of his own mother. He believes Meghan's grandmother adored her and that she'd be appalled by Meghan's new approach. This shows how it affects him as a parent. To him, it's deeply personal. Watching a child disavow the family name is as painful as it gets. The rise of Meghan's star, from actress to duchess to Netflix personality, might also fuel Thomas's frustration. He sees her using platforms that he believes misrepresent the woman he raised. By continuing to speak, he's essentially saying the Markle side of the story matters. He views himself as a corrective force, though many see him as a troublemaker. Despite the bitterness, Thomas occasionally mentions how he still loves Meghan and that he wants to see his grandchildren.
Do you still love your daughter?
Of course I do.
He regrets missing her wedding day and laments that he's never met Harry face to face. In his harshest critics, glimpses of sadness break through, hinting that this isn't just about money or fame. It's about a father who feels alienated from his daughter's life. That emotional complexity keeps the public hooked. Thomas Markle isn't a simple villain. He's a father who, in his own words, once had a strong bond with Meghan. The heartbreak of losing that bond might drive him to extremes. He's not a polished media figure. He occasionally stumbles, contradicts himself, or says harsh things he can't take back. But the heartbreak remains raw, fueling his decision to keep the spotlight shining on Meghan's alleged missteps. Meghan's camp, for its part, feels his version of fatherly love is overshadowed by public betrayal. The more he slams her in interviews, the less reason she has to reconnect. It's a vicious loop, and it's clear who, if anyone, will break it. As Thomas Markle's revelations grow bolder, so does Meghan's determination to remain silent. With every new statement, the possibility of a private truth seems further away. So do you think Thomas Markle's accusations about Meghan's authenticity can have any lasting effect? Do you also think Thomas will reunite with his daughter? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the following video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.